there's still a way to change this. If we return to an earlier point in time, we'll be able to save her.
I understand.
Chaos Control!
Silver! I can handle this myself. Besides, you got somewhere to go, right?
You!
I'll make sure to change Elisa's fate. And that, in turn, should change your future, too. Thank you, Silver.
Yeah, just save her. I know how to save our world now. We don't have to change the past. I'm sure of it.
So you have a plan? Well then, let's hurry. I sense his flames.
I'm coming, Iblis!
Okay, so there's two little gripes about the story that happened in that cutscene that seem to cause some confusion in people, and I want to try to clarify it best I can. But before I do that, the biggest I want to clarify something. There's the biggest point of this story has is how it handles time travel, because as with any situation with time travel, it's either done great or poorly, and there's two different ways you can handle time travel. You can either do it under the assumption that timelines can overwrite each other, in the sense, like for instance, we'll use Back to the Future as an example. Back to the Future, Marty starts off, his mom's an alcoholic, his dad feels fear, or is afraid of Biff, so he succumbs to his every demand. By the end of the movie, his mom is not an alcoholic, his brother is working in an office, which I guess means he's successful. Doesn't necessarily mean he's happy, but you know, that depends anyway. So that's all that, and then, so in the sense that, what I'm trying to say is, Marty's actions in 1985 changed how his life would be in 1985 and returned to a different timeline. But in this game, they use the concept of a time loop, and we know this because Shadow's story. They say that Shadow was always sealed in the past, right? Or that Mephiles was sealed in the past, right? And that he was broken apart. And then Mephiles recognizes Shadow when he first comes out of the Scepter of Darkness, which means that everything that what Shadow does in Aquatic Base already happened. It's called a time loop because, and the same thing with Silver, because Silver gives Elise the Chaos Emerald, and then that happens in the future. That doesn't change anything about the future. That simply has already happened. So that's, now that we understand how time travel works, let's focus on the main problem that people have with this section of the story, which is that we see Eggman's ship crashing, right? So as a result of that, they think, oh no, Elise died. We need to go save her now. However, if that's the case, and then they go stop the ship from crashing, they would have never. Oh dear, I did a bad. Land on something. Okay, I can't land on anything. That's unfortunate. I need rings. Rings are a thing. Rings are things I need. Give me psychokinesis. Okay, we're gonna fly. Ha, rings. Thanks for the rings. Really appreciate that. So if they go back to change it, how could they ever have done that in the first? How could they ever gone back to change it in the first place? Because at that point, so if they go back to change it and they stop the ship from crashing, that means that they would have never had a reason to go back in the past in the first place, which means they couldn't have ever possibly done. It's basically okay. I don't know how much we lost there, but long story short, I explained the concept of a time loop versus overarching timelines, and the reason why they think that Sonic thinks he can go back to change history without consequences because it's a time loop. It's destined to happen, and the ship crashing, we don't know for certain if Elise. Sorry, we can't see Sonic and Elise getting off it, so we don't know that they did. We don't know that they didn't. But if Elise is still on that ship and she died, why wouldn't Iblis's flames be? Why wouldn't the flames of disaster be purging through the Kingdom Valley? Now you might say, well, maybe they don't happen right away, and to which I'd say false, because of something that happens in the last story. That's not true. That can't possibly happen. That can't possibly be a thing that is true. So that's that. And all that has to happen in order for that scene to work is for the characters to believe that Elise has died. Because obviously, since most people don't realize that Iblis, that if the princess truly died, the flames of disaster would have already been purging through the world. So it's not that far-fetched to think that the characters wouldn't make that connection either. So that's that. That's how I justify that.
No matter how many of you come, it's a waste of time.
So they believe that Sonic goes back to change history, and then the other. So that's my justification, is because it's a time loop, so it doesn't really. The timelines can't overwrite each other because we understand that it's stuck in a time loop. And if that's what the confusion lies in, as in, what's it? That's where you, if you think that the game runs off of overwriting timelines instead of a time loop, then I can understand where your confusion would come from. But once you understand that it runs off a time loop, a lot of the game's plot holes start to fill themselves in. And then the other one is kind of similar in that Silver always wanted to go back and change the past, so why doesn't he do that instead of going back to the future? I think he has full confidence in Sonic's ability to save Elise, and so he goes back to the future expecting it to be all different. But it doesn't happen. He may not realize that they're stuck in a time loop, but what he does realize is that, okay, so Sonic didn't do it, but whatever, I now know what it takes to get rid of Iblis, so whatever happens in the past doesn't matter. We can save the world right here, right now. So those are two little minor gripes of the story that I don't really have, but I know other people do have, and I just wanted to clarify as to why I don't think they're as much of a problem as people say they are. Anyway, let's keep on moving forward, and that's pretty much all the problems I have, or the problems that there are. There is one more. There's one more thing. Which is that Blaze kind of doesn't do anything in Silver Story. She's just kind of here, like I said, to fulfill the character quota, and that's about it. It's kind of like what they did in Halo 5, where it's like, actually, no, I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that in the credits. Also, I missed almost all of those rings, which is unfortunate. And then obviously there's the. No, actually, no. I should just stop talking, because most of my gripes of the story are either stuff I've talked about already, stuff I haven't talked about yet, and we'll cover in the last story, or just, you know. So I no need to cover it right here, right now. I've covered the two things I wanted to cover, and that's about it. Anyway, Flame Core. Never really been a fan of it. Just because, you know, meteors falling from the sky doesn't lead to the most interesting of encounters. It mostly just revolves around, oh, you happen to be standing in the wrong spot at the wrong time? Well, screw you then. You're gonna commit die now. Like, I guarantee you I'll get bit by a meteor. And they're like, no, I didn't get bit by a meteor. How very interesting. I'll probably get hit by one on the way to the ramp, though. That's almost guaranteed to happen. I don't think I've ever made it through. Oh, wait, no. Oh. I made it through without getting hit by a meteor. Astounding. Okay, now we're inside the volcano. The final non-boss section of Silver's story. As far as Flame Core goes, the final level, I don't ordinarily like Flame Core, and I still don't. I don't like Flame Core as a level, but as a final level for Silver, in that he starts off in his timeline, he goes back to his timeline.
What is that thing?
I actually don't mind it. I still don't like the concept of meteors falling from the sky. I don't like having to maneuver, you know, a floor full of lava. However, it makes more sense as Silver's final level because, for one, lava-based levels are typically the final level of games anyway. And then for another, I'm just into Silver because it's like, all of Iblis' monsters are here, we need to go find Iblis and take him down. So the theme works well. That's what matters, right? It's all about theming. So an aquatic base for Sonic works well as the final level because, you know, it's Doctor Eggman. It's meant to be Doctor Eggman's kind of base. So it makes sense that that would be his, his way of, it makes sense that that would be his final level because it's meant to be Doctor Eggman's base. For Shadow, it doesn't really work because in Shadow's story, it's all about my God, I hit the lava. Great. It's all about Mephiles, but the final level for so much for getting an S rank. But for Shadow, it doesn't work because what does a desert have to do with Mephiles? Whereas here, it's Flame Core, Iblis is the Flames of Disaster and all that, so it's thematically appropriate, and that's what matters. It's all about even though Flame Core is not a good level and I don't like it, it works well as Silver's final level. So this is about the only form in which I will actually be fine with it. Ugh. Okay, here comes another light room, and the thing is, we've been through most of this already with other characters. So there isn't a Jesus Christ, I hate the lava floor so freaking much. It's like I genuinely despise this level. But it's so weird because I hate this level. I do not like it. This is the only level in the game that I straight up do not enjoy playing. But I still like it in the context of Silver's final level because of all the theming stuff that I just talked about before. Doesn't make it a good level. Just makes it a good final level. And let's get this ring. Let's get these rings really quickly, and let's get my grounding. I'll get these rings too. There we are. Alright, I should be able to make it over here with my psychokinesis, and can I make it up here? I should be able to make it up here as well if I just use it carefully. There we are. Okay, rings please. Thank you very much. And can I make it up here? I cannot make it up there. It does not seem like, but what I might be able to do is I might be able to take a hit. And then no, that's too risky. I'm not gonna risk that. That's not something that I feel like risking today. I'll just use this. You're stunned. Why can I not grab? If I died to that, that would have been not. I would not have been a happy boy. Okay, come on down, and now I should be able to make it up here. This is the kind of stuff I feel like Silver's story should have more. It should have more of the platforming and puzzle solving elements rather than just combat. Because combat with Silver, while it's, you know, better with psychokinesis, or Psycho Shock, it can still get a little arduous at times. Anyway, all right, finally. Out of the light room.
Okay, let's move on.
Indeed. Let's head on over here to the end of this room. I almost said end of the stage, which is decidedly not the end of the stage. The end of the stage ends with a big old ball, which is weird. Anyway, Psycho Shock both of these guys if I can. Got them both. Let's go pick up the rings. Thanks for the free ring capsule, by the way. And open the door. Oh, that was not part of the plan. Okay, just grab a few rings, don't need to get all of them. Ah, here's the big ball I was talking about.
What is that ball of flame? Is that the power of Iblis?
I honestly don't know. If it is, then...
It seems like the attacks come in regular intervals.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I was definitely not in line with that. I definitely should not have gotten hit by that, but, you know, we'll roll with the punches. Yeah, so... this kind of reminds me of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
I'll have to get closer and use my power directly.
In that we're running around in a circle around something that's used as sort of radius attack like that, and then you can hide behind these little walls to serve as cover spots. It kind of reminds me of the Captain Toad Treasure Tracker level where we're going into the boss level. You know what I'm talking about? Remember when I did that game, summer 2017? Ah, I knew I shouldn't have jumped, but I did anyway. That was entirely on me. Also, I've been recording Silver's story all day. I've recorded the past... stop, thank you. I've recorded the past 6 episodes in a row, and as with what typically happens when I record that many... give me a ring. That many of anything in a row, my throat starts to give out.
Let's go! expected.
That many of anything in a row. As my voice begins to give out, my throat begins to hurt. Which doesn't, you know, neither of those are great things. Fortunately, the end of the level is right around the corner. I'm not going to get an S rank because I did a die, which is stupid, but, you know, we'll roll with the punches.
Looks like I'm on a roll.
But hey, at least we got an A rank, right? Better than anything below it. Alright. One final boss battle is all that remains, and then we are done with Silver's story.
Come on, Iblis! This time I'll finally stop you! Here I come, Iblis! This will be your end!
Time for the final battle against Iblis. Alright, step one. Run away from all of the things. Catch what you can.
It looks like he's getting closer to his final form. You'll be in trouble if you let him get close. Try to keep him away from here.
Yeah, thanks, Blaze. I'm so glad you're here to give me advice. Catch what you can. Catch what we can. Okay, we caught a few things. Let's throw it at him. Yeah. You're probably not going to be able to get a whole lot of hits off the back because he's not close enough. But throw at him what you can. Try to aim for the head because that's where you're going to get the most damage. And be careful of the shockwave attack that he's going to send your way. He does, I think, 3 of them. Yeah, he has 3 of them. Some are high. Oh, no, he does 4. Some are high, some are low. Not unlike Dragons of 3D. Yeah, thank you, Blaze. You're so good at this. Alright. Here comes the shockwave attack. Probably gonna do 4 again. Alright, so you gotta keep it out. This one's low. This one's high. This one's low. And this one is high. So why did I jump? I don't know. I honestly don't know why I jumped. Alright, anything for me to grab onto? No, there was not. There was nothing for me to grab onto.
He's trying to destroy this foothold. Silver, don't let him get you too.
Yeah, you want to stay away from the edges there and stay towards the middle. He's gonna slowly chip away at the ends of the middle, and then when he extends his head out like that, you want to hover over to him like this, land on his head, and then push the right trigger.
Please, let's finish this.
So you want to do as much damage to him as you can from a distance with the assorted rocks that he throws at you, kind of like, no, don't, oh, okay, I thought I was going to lose it, like this, and do damage like that, and then when he gets really close to you, that's when you can do the most amount of damage by jumping onto his head and then pushing the right trigger. Use the psychokinesis as you have multiple times in the past. I don't want to waste all the rings because I want to save some for later. Also, this is the final phase of Iblis. We've seen Iblis as a tapeworm in both Sonic and Shadow Story. We saw him in his second phase. Ow! What I was trying to say is, this is Iblis in his final form. We fought him as a tapeworm as Sonic and Shadow. We fought him in his second phase at the beginning of Silver's story. And then this is his final form. This is as menacing as he's going to get. And for as far as docile as he may have first appeared as the worm, he's actually kind of intimidating now. He's a legitimate monster that you might actually want to fear. I mean, he looked pretty tough at the beginning of Silver's story too in his second phase, but this is a whole other deal. I mean, the fight's pretty similar, but as far as appearances go, he's a whole other deal. Alright, less than half health. Actually, he's probably closer to a quarter health now that I think about it, and that's going to be high, so let's get down low. That's another high one. Throws another one into the... Oh, he's going to throw a few more into the mix this time. And he's going to do that one more time, and then we're going to be able to stomp on his head, and that won't be enough to kill him. We'll probably have to hit him a few more... Oh, and then he does one more thing that, I saw the Game Grumps play this, and then they forgot that they can use, They forgot they can use Silver's psychokinesis to grab things, and so they died, and then they got a game over, and then they rage quit, and they never actually beat it. I haven't seen their full Let's Play. I've just seen the highlight videos that people put together, and one of the highlights was, of course, at the very end. So, alright, he's gonna do the thing again. We're gonna hover into the air to make sure he can't shock us. So, I'm gonna just show you how to avoid that. Just remember, you know, that you can pick up objects with your psychokinesis, and you should be fine. But I'll I'll show you what I mean when we get to it.
Just a little more. I will end this now.
You can probably guess what I'm talking about, even if you haven't. If you've seen their video or if you've played this game before, you probably know what I'm talking about. And actually, can I take him out? No, I can't. There's no way I can take him out here. No, I can't. I can get him pretty darn low though. One or two more hits will probably end him. So let me get some rings here because this battle's gonna be coming to an end soon. All right. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. They forgot you can grab things, which is a little embarrassing that they didn't know you could, you know, use psychokinesis to grab objects. Because as this thing comes toward you, hold the right trigger, grab it, and then throw it right back at him. Okay, that is Silver's story done. Now, one final cutscene,
That took too long.
and then I'll give you my thoughts on Silver's story.
Chaos Emeralds, lend me your power. Eternal Sun, the living flame that has been entrusted to the royal family. Fall into slumber with my soul, Iblis, you cursed flames of disaster! Ah! Ah! No! Why won't it accept me as the vessel? Blaze!
I'll take Iblis. Don't worry. My soul is already alit with flames. I will be accepted. Come on, make it quick. Use your chaos control to stop time. Then seal us into a different dimension.
No! I can't do that to you!
Didn't we already go through this? We agreed to save the world at any price.
I can't! I wouldn't know what to do without you! You fought alongside me to save the world! You're my friend, right?
You're still so naive. But I've always liked that about you.
Blaze!
Good luck, Silver.
That cutscene makes me wish that Blaze actually had more use in the story. Because if she did, that final cutscene would have a lot more impact. Because it's a really emotional scene, and it is executed well. It's just a shame that the stuff that leads up to it doesn't really, you know, add to it just because the relationship isn't that well developed. Anyway, thoughts on Silver's story. It's my least favorite of the three, I don't know if you could tell, but I still enjoy playing it, I just prefer Sonic and Shadows better. Fighting enemies gets a little tedious this time around. The Psycho Shock helps with it, but, you know, it doesn't fix it. I really don't like Amy at all. Fortunately, you don't play as her all that much, you only play as her in one level and one town mission, which is better, which is, you know, praise the Lord for that and all that, but, Blaze is just useless to the story until the very end, which is really unfortunate. And even the story itself can feel kind of repetitive because we're basically just following Sonic around for most of it. And I will say, though, that all three endings to the stories do a good job of making you feel a certain emotion. Like, Sonic's story, it gets you a feeling of, yeah, everything's alright. be joyful. Everything's happy. Shadow Sword gives you a feeling of, oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, kick Mephiles' rear end. And this is kind of a sad ending because it's uplifting, right? Because this Crisis City is turned into happiness, but it's sad because Silver lost his best friend. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of build up to that, but it's still an emotional ending. Beyond that, there isn't a whole lot I have to say about Silver Story other than that this song that's playing right here, Dreams of an Absolution, is my favorite of the 3 end credit songs. So I'm gonna shut up now and let you guys enjoy this final song. That's all I have to say about Silver Story. Least favorite of the 3, but I still enjoy playing it. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you for the next episode. It's been a game. Let's do something else. Hope you fans have a good day. I'll catch you all tomorrow, where we're gonna start up the last story. Goodbye, and enjoy Dreams of an Absolution and the credits.
I dream of an absolution. 'Cause every night I will make it right, and every night I will come to you. But every night it just stays the same in my dream of an absolution. And you'll see what will be, and you'll see. And you'll see, this is my dream. Every night, I'll always dream. He's a rocket and he's ready to go, 'cause now the countdown has started and he's ready to blow. He's got the dope sounds bumping and his stereo. Yo, fast, putting on a show. Don't wanna get yourself together, there's no time to rest. And if you put the time in, he'll put you to the test. He's like a running man and his world war is less. And if you wanna test him best, bring your best. Don't make me spell it out, bring your best. cause now the